Love itself is a political matter. Though love can exist privately and personally, it is when this love is expressed among individuals that it becomes actual, true love. This transition from personal love to true love is what makes love itself political. When individuals express their love, they expose their love onto an environment, and thus it what makes love a subject of the environment itself. Exposing the love into an environment creates a bond between much of the environment's tradition and culture. This also subjects the love to be interpreted by the people of the environment itself. Suddenly, love becomes more than just a private matter. It evolves into a public matter. Whether these people can interpret their traditional and cultural values and approve of their love is completely up to them and the environment. Some people might choose to interpret this love through legislation, especially by limiting it. An example of love being limited through legislation is in the Americas during the late 2000s. In the concept of same-sex marriage, the legal ambiguity reached coast to coast and state by state. In 2009, the amount of states that legally performed and recognized gay marriage was an utter 5, while a whopping 28 had constitutionally banned gay marriage overall. This had let the door wide open for other states to openly interpret same-sex marriage in their own way. Some states didn't even recognize same-sex marriage at all. This legal ambiguity came to much of an end in 2015, when the United States legalized same-sex marriage all over the country. Though legal ambiguity ended for the United States in 2015, it still continues around the world in 2018. Of the 195 countries in the United Nations, only 32 countries currently legally recognize same-sex marriage. It's one thing to recognize same-sex marriage, but it's also another thing to prosecute those who exercise same-sex marriage and same-sex relationships. Some countries like Iran, Sudan, and Saudi Arabia have laws to prosecute those who practice same-sex relationships. Some of these states even have laws that are set to have the death punishment simply for being a homosexual. States like Chechnya, even though are not state-sponsored, are rumored to have high-ranking state officials approve of homosexual hunt teams that lure out homosexuals into the woods and torture them. Such a political matter and approach to same-sex relationships gives you a perspective of the legal ambiguity practiced around the world. In some way, you may ask yourself, why would someone still prosecute same-sex relationships around the world in such hostile environments, even though the environments provided for such love to exist are all practically inhospitable? For I present that, for as long as love can influence politics, policy will always exist to oppress such love. I'm Carlos Vasquez, and I thank you for listening to me.